Hi, welcome to another Lawn Fawn video. I'm Kara and today we're making a cozy fall coffee themed shutter card. So we're using Den Sweet Den, Let's Go Nuts, Thanks a Latte, and Ocean Shell-fie for some sentiments, the outside in stitched mug, diagonal gift card pocket, the shutter card, and this is Into the Woods 12 by 12, shutter card pieces in Into the Woods 6 by 6 paper pack, and here is the shutter part there, and that's the shutter card add-on and the shutter card snow globe add-on, just the ring. And these pieces are from the Acorn house, and they are in peacock cardstock and a variety of cardstock, which I will go through later. All right, so let's start by stamping, and I made a little mask of the baby sleeping bear. So when I am masking and putting things together, layering them, I put them both down, or all down, and then I pick them all up and peel off what was on the bottom so that the front image is stamped first. And I'm stamping this in Crunchy Leaf, which is Copic friendly. Putting my little mask on there, and then I'll stamp on the mama bear and just positioning her over the mask and stamp her down. Now I'm using kraft cardstock, and I wanted to make this kind of a warm, cozy look. So this is Lawnfawn's cardstock, kraft cardstock. And now I'm using the Thanks a Latte mugs, and they will be on the inside of the shutter card. So I'm going to stamp those also in Crunchy Leaf, and then I'm going to add some decorations to these mugs, just like I did with the outside in stitched mug. First, I want to put in some of the drink inside. So one has marshmallows and the other has a fancy top on its okay, I don't drink those, so I I don't know, is that cappuccino? I guess so. I'm just black coffee. That's it sounds so boring, but I like black coffee. All right, so from Let's Go Nuts, that is the sleeping squirrel and a leaf from that. Now, I stamped this sentiment and I didn't realize my camera was off. So we'll do it again. I'm using walnut ink, and this sentiment is from Thanks a Latte, this one, saying warm thoughts. And I'm just using the word warm. And then the you and my are from Ocean Shell-fie, and the heart is from Thanks a Latte. And it even has a little smiley face to put, on the marshmallows, or this heart or leaf. And so I thought I should stamp that down too. Well, I used the stitched circle die from the shutter card and the matching dies for the mugs and cut those out. Now that circle's going to be inside my shutter. I'm stamping some more leaves on that mug from Let's Go Nuts. I'm just using a simple mask for this. Any straight edge of a piece of scratch paper will do. I want to just make it look like the leaves are kind of coming off the side, so it makes a full pattern around the mug. Once I have everything stamped, it's time to start coloring. I colored around the outside of this mug, but I will show you that on a smaller mug. But let's talk about these little bears. So I'm using Copic markers. This is an E23, but I started by finding my shadows with the E21, and now I'm coming in with the E23 in those shadows and then blending that out into the body with the E21. So shading around the legs and behind the head so that the head looks closer than the body does, and then just giving shape to the face, kind of rounding it out, making sure that it has enough shadow there to show the distinctions between what's up close and what's behind. I decided that these two should be lying on something like a rug, and so with a BG02, now that's a very bright color, but on this kraft cardstock it's a bit duller, so I wanted the brightest I could get. So a BG02 and a BG05, and the darkest right under the bears will be a BG09. So just getting under there and blending it out with the 05 and the 02. And I thought I was going to keep this a brown mug, but I changed that up later. We'll look at that when that comes up. But meanwhile, onto the other coloring, this little heart, I colored orange with a YR04, 07, and even a little 09 in there. I'm keeping with the colors of the pattern paper, so that's why we have an orange heart. And now here is the shading around the mug, and this is an E42, but I use all the E40s, so I started with the E42 going to E41 to E40, and I get a little darker even with an E43. I think I even used an E44 in that. But looking back, I think it would have been simpler to just ink blend with some distress ink or some lawnfawn ink around the edges instead of trying to work so hard at getting a blend with the E40 family. All right, well, I am coloring in the drink now, so it's going to act as coffee and also as hot chocolate. This is an E25. And I came in earlier on this one with the E23 and 21, but not dark enough. When I'm coloring on kraft cardstock, it lightens up after a bit. So it starts out dark, any of the colors, Copic marker colors, but then they just lighten up. So now I'm just coloring in the leaf pattern, and I'm using BG02 and 05 for that, and also the YR04 and the 07. I want to add a little shape to those marshmallows, so I'm using a W1. I'm not even going to blend that in. I'm just using one marker here to get those shadows in for those marshmallows, just to show some depth there and round them out a bit. And onto my third mug, I colored the squirrel the same way as I colored the bears, and I'm now putting in a background because I thought, okay, I'm not going to do another brown mug. Let's do something with some color, because I wanted it to pair well with that leaf mug, because those two are going to be together. And with the orange and aqua on there, I wanted to add orange and aqua on this mug as well, so that's making up the main background of this mug. And I just decided to divide them between the two, so using those same BG zeros and YR zeros. And once I saw this mug and how colorful it was, I looked at the bear mug and I thought, no, that's gonna need something more to it too, because I really liked the color on this. And so I'm gonna go back and color the bear mug, but I'm just gonna color that all one shade, YR04, because it's already shaded underneath, and I'm going to use that shading as my blending, so to speak. So that will all be just one color over the E40 shading. So one thing leads to another, and I'm back putting in a little more depth and color into the bears. Same colors though, with the E23 and 21. Now, one thing I love to do with mugs is curl them a bit, so I went ahead and did that. Couldn't resist, although on my project they can't be curled, so I uncurl them, but I just like to do that with mugs. Now here we're starting to put together the shutter card, and I found it easiest to bend it backwards first and then forward. So I want the orange part to be the inside of my card, so I place the die on top of the orange because that will give me some marks inside that I will use. So in order to get that going where the white with the speech bubbles is on the outside, it helped to bend it back and then bend it forward. Now there's those two little marks, and here's the card. And those marks could either be on the bottom like I'm doing, or you could flip it around and have them on top. But my speech bubbles would be upside down if I had done that. So I'm putting some double-sided tape on these two, I don't know, they look like flags, but they are the shutter pieces. And it's real simple. I'm just taking off the paper on the adhesive and then folding that side of the card in. And I didn't fold this one beforehand, which is no problem because I can fold it here. And this one I folded beforehand, but I'm taking off that release paper, putting it down where I have those two marks inside, and then making sure it's lined up with my other flag, and then putting the door down and it picks it up and it's all set. So I have this little ring from the snow globe add-on for the shutter card, and I'm using it just as a frame for my opening, and I'm using the same paper that I did as the shutter pieces, so kind of all goes together. And I want something a little extra with this card because it's a coffee card. I figured it would be nice to put a gift card in there from a local coffee shop. And so just folding back the tab parts and putting some double-sided adhesive on those tabs of the diagonal gift card pocket, and then taking off that release paper, and I'm just going to stick it on the back of this card. So there it is, all ready to go. There's my card opening, and now I'm putting some double-sided tape on the tabs at the top and bottom, and that's where the shutter card add-on is placed. But first I want to make this band for the outside of the card. It has a score line in the middle, which I am folding over, and it has the score line at the edges as well, but I'm not going to fold those. Those are just to show me where to put the double-sided tape, and so I'm going to put those on those two tabs. Right there is one, and I'm placing it on the outside of the tab, so the part that will be seen. Taking that release paper off and just putting that on top, putting one on top of the other, and then where it's folded, all I have to do is fold those and take off that release paper, put the second side down, and it is all set to go. I'm adding just a little extra decoration, just a little strip of pattern paper here in the middle, and I'm just folding those over. They don't even have to meet in the middle because the mug will be on top of that. You won't see it. Just gonna take my tape runner and adhere that to my band, and then go back and finish the inside of my card. I'm centering my sentiment between the two shutters and adhere that down. Make sure that I have it straight, and then I can put that middle part on. Now you could just cut out an extra piece of the main card and use that, cut it down for the center, but I'm using the shutter card add-on. And there it is, it's opening and closing, and the shutter is working. So now it's time to start decorating the inside. I'm putting these mugs in. Sure, I have to straighten them out because I don't want them curved inside. It would add bulk inside. Just putting some adhesive on there, and then now I get to arrange all my little decorations from the Acorn house that I'm going to use. So I'm just going to glue those on. But one thing I want to mention is the shutter works best when you alternate the flaps. So I have the top left shutter overlapping the right one, and the right bottom shutter overlapping the left one. So that's all the workings on inside, and that makes it just go so smoothly. All right, well, here I am just continuing to add the little bits and pieces. Now for cardstock, I'm using Lawnfawn's Peacock and Sunflower and ground coffee and fake tan, carved pumpkin, paper bag, and I think that's it. but just fun cardstock colors that go so well with the Into the Woods Remix pattern papers. And I gotta say, I really like all the little accessories for the Acorn house. There's 3 different size leaves, and these are the medium-sized ones. And there it is, time to put on the band. See that fits right? Of course it does, because it was made for that. But I'm going to add a little hemp cord on here just for a little bit more interest. And this is the glow-in-the-dark cord, and I'm not really gonna use it for that purpose, but one thing I love about this cord is that just a bead of glue, and it sits really nice. It doesn't sometimes it seems like glue doesn't hold down fibers very well, but this glue and this cord work great together. All right, I'm gonna add my front mug, and I'm putting that on a little bit of foam adhesive. So there you are, you open it up and there's the gift card. But I realize when I made that mug darker with the orange over the brown, the white on the front of my card was looking a little stark. So I thought, well, I'll add a few leaves because those aren't blended with any ink, and I thought that looked good. But I still felt like there was too much of a contrast between that mug and the background paper. So once I have my leaves on here the way I like them, then I decided to pull out the ink and blend a little bit of color onto the white. So I have Lawnfawn's dough ink and a life-changing blender brush, and I wanted to check it out on some scratch paper and trying to keep it really light-handed here. I'm just trying to change up the white background into more of a creamy brown background, but not trying to really shade too much. Doing the same on the back. You can see how different it looks from the front where it was already blended. And now I'm pretty happy with it. So there it is. You warm my heart. A warm, cozy fall coffee card, or tea, or hot chocolate, whatever you like. I hope you enjoyed the video today and that it inspired you to make a fall-themed card too. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye!